Hey everybody, I'm Rebecca Gunter, and this is Business in the Raw. You're watching episode 10, Personal Brand for the Win, Positioning and Messaging for Your Own Damn Self. Why would you want to take the time to develop a personal brand? You and your business are not the same thing. You have your own unique value proposition. Who you are, your people, what they need, what you deliver, what makes you special, is different than your business brand. That's its own thing. The danger of not clearly defining what's your personal brand and what's your business brand is that over time they become so enmeshed that if you ever want to leave your business brand, you have a really hard time doing it. If you ever want to no longer be the face of the business, you have a really hard time doing it. If you ever want to pivot or reposition, but you're so enmeshed with your business brand, that also becomes really painful. Also, it's really freeing to know your personal brand. It opens up speaking opportunities. It opens up thought leadership. You become known as the expert in your field above and beyond the name that's behind the LLC or the S Corp or the C Corp or the benefit corporation or the sole proprietorship. Take the time to apply the tools of messaging and branding to your own personal brand, just as we've done with a business brand, and watch your entire professional persona come to life within the context of your business and outside of it. The world is your oyster. What I want to do today with you is just flesh out services. Because we're at the point where we have a brand to actually launch. We've done a lot of kind of getting ready to get ready.
Yeah.
When last we left our heroes, we met with Jody, and I mean, how awesome was that to get this?
I've already started looking into a number of things. I'm not going to try to recap the whole show. So it was phenomenal. So anyway, but yeah, I love.
Yeah, I'll let you know all the way. Also, that Zach says that's our best episode yet. So
thank you, Zach, and he would know.
he would know
from on various levels.
Yeah, he would know. So that's exciting. But it's time for us to take that ball, back and start putting it into play. Because if somebody called you tomorrow, could you take the job? Sure. If somebody referred you tomorrow, would you get very far? I don't know, because
I don't know
digital footprint.
That's right. Nothing. I mean, really, nothing. Right.
Correct. Yeah. So I want to get us there. And what's holding me back is just one, validating the positioning, which we're currently doing. Yeah. And the two is to figure out, what are we selling? What's the job? What are we selling?
I mean,
even if it's just one signature package.
Yeah.
It was just that.
Exactly.
So that we have an offer.
I agree.
If we don't have an offer, Jill's going
to... Yeah.
You have the ability to put one offer out there and be like, take it or leave it. Would it be fantastic if we were building an enterprise that then was going to pay you right off the break, give you some sort of consistent, awesome income, and have a plan for scalability?
Yeah.
Yes. But also, we could start with a minimum viable product, and that signature offer could include communication strategic planning.
Yeah. You're right.
For this exact reason. So perhaps there's it's three discovery calls in which the client understands emphatically that you are helping them strategically plan for and implement a communication strategy.
Yeah.
And then you're going to execute the voiceover part for any media piece for a media piece.
Yeah.
So it's it includes two 30-second spots,
yeah
add on where I host a podcast on your topic for you, add on
wow,
the offer is baked in strategic planning and consulting, not that you are a strategic planner or a consultant.
Like you mentioned just a few seconds ago, quality of life. What would my quality of life be? How much do I really want to take on? Is it an organization who are light thinkers? They have their own team who are writing their copy and whatever, and I deliver the copy. You know, I deliver, I'm sorry,
Mm.
I deliver the voiceover, but I love where you added sort of a package that it also becomes a podcast topic. Perhaps they don't have a podcast or yeah, I'll just say podcast or UT or streaming platform. But perhaps part of the service is I do the voiceover, but then also, either bring them on as a podcast, as a guest to my podcast to talk about their thing. I don't know. There seems to be something there that makes a nice little marriage. Marriage. That makes a nice package that doesn't require me doing a lot of that, because I know that those discovery sessions, I know how long. I mean, yeah, I may say 30 minutes, but then the next thing is, am I writing their script? I don't want to write other people. I don't.
Well, let me just throw this out there.
Please.
What if you had an offer that started with me during the discovery coming up with a positioning statement?
Oh, then.
Writing the scripts.
Oh my God. Because that is your lovely space. That is where you own it. I don't own that space at all. I can speak to topics, but go ahead. No, I love that.
So that we could, first of all, we could have a blended offer tomorrow. Like,
oh my God,
Rebecca Gunter, or Stone Fruit times Janine Sound Experience or whatever that has me baked into the positioning, the messaging, and then create the script creation, and then you deliver on the voiceover. So like, that's a wrap. We can put that out tomorrow.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Let's just say that Kaiser Permanente had decided that they were going to lean in on women's health and become the leader in women's health advocacy. I'm making this up, obviously. Although take note, Kaiser Permanente, this is something you can do.
I was going to say, and in many respects, they are revered as an organization that takes women's health serious.
Wow. So they decided to do that. There's a disconnect between how they're currently communicating with their audience and how they can communicate with women. And I think that is really, when we were like, Rebecca's going to get, you and Jill were like, Rebecca's going to love this. That's that piece is communication, strategic planning around communicating with perhaps like, I don't want to use the way marginalized because it centers, it centers majority, but previously accessible.
Yeah, I know there's so many terms that we use today, and honestly, with respect to getting it right, marginalized communities, for me, it communicates a lot, and if I I really am working at ensuring that I use the right language, but marginalized communities, it still resonates, I think. But I understand what you're saying, because then it puts at center the majority, the majority. I get it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's like, again,
I need a lesson. I really do.
Decolonizing language, as you said earlier,
is hard.
I mean, this is.
But we're taking the time to do it.
Really difficult.
Yeah.
We are. So I think it's about, maybe for good reasons, communities who have sequestered themselves from the central narrative of health and wellness because they've been excluded, because they haven't been believed, because Tuskegee.
Yes.
Because COVID,
exactly.
Because the AIDS epidemic,
exactly. Because
so have circled their own wagons.
Yes. And all of the things that you mentioned, and the social determinants of health. We know education, your health, your and all of those critical factors, they impact why communities, and how did you put it? Communities who have sequestered themselves,
circled their own wagons. Essentially just took the ball and went, we're taking our ball and going home.
Yeah.
To your own detriment. I don't need to tell you about the disparity in birth rate.
Oh my God, the mortality rate.
Yeah, I
Absolutely.
don't need to tell you about the disparity between Black women who get maternal care
That's
and white
right.
women who get maternal care.
That's
I don't need
absolutely
to
right.
tell you, like, I don't need
Yeah.
to tell you any of that stuff. But
And how it's delivered, right? And whether or not they're listened to, that once they got home, that something just didn't feel right. And it's like, oh, come on, get straight back, return to the hospital. And what message is delivered to other, women and women of color, um, in particular. But I'm sorry, I cut you off because you were making a point.
yeah, just
That,
about how, like, because of that marginalization, and
mm-hmm,
we're going to use that loaded term for lack of anything better.
mm-hmm,
There's been inaccessibility, and I
yes,
do feel like there are organizations that are trying to, like, it's not a glass ceiling, but
yeah,
it's some sort of a
something.
ceiling.
It is.
It's some sort of a barrier, like an opacity to it.
Yeah,
And I do feel like there is just a communication breakdown.
I do too. I get you.
And
I'm following you. Yeah.
so if your special sauce is helping people, if your real, true, unique value proposition is helping you, access the inaccessible from both
Yes.
sides,
I like that. Yeah.
give women and a voice, and
Yeah.
a voice like that they can hear and that they is heard. Like, it's for you. There's both sides. It's not one way. I think, like,
I
the accessibility goes all
yeah,
around.
yeah, exactly. And so I need, because I'm visual as well. I need to play that out, right? So there's an organization who are about women's health and wellness and empowerment and all those things that we love, right? So that organization is seeking to deliver a message around blank, right? And they either I've proposed to them, I've identified them as an organization. Hey, I'd like to work with. I see what you guys are doing. Give me the opportunity, or I would love to meet with you. To talk about what strategy you all are using to reach women of color, marginalized communities. I'm just playing this out. They say, well, sure, come on in. All right. Or I say, I offer, and I'm trying to think more, sort of, business minded, or, I reach out to them and say, I offer these services. I love the opportunity to have a strategy call with you. Right. And I know this seems long, but I have to play it out in my head. I know. So I offer to have a strategy call or two, I think, with you. They go, yeah, this sounds exactly what we need. I work with Rebecca Gunter, right? And Rebecca actually has the strategy session with them. I got to play the whole thing out. Sorry, everybody, but it's just who I am.
And
Um,
they are at home too. This is the work.
yeah, it is.
Let us not forget that this is what we're doing here with
Yeah.
Business in the Raw, is showing our work.
Yes.
Showing our work and showing our worth. So
Right.
no one just comes up with the offer without being like, now what's the workflow here? How
Yes.
are these people actually interconnected? And if you're not doing that, then you do not have a strong enough, like, funnel. You don't.
Thank you.
And I'm myself included. Like,
Thank you.
this is one of my toxic traits, is not having a clear line of delineation from conversation to close. I do
Thank
not.
you. Well,
So work it out for everybody.
okay. So thank you. Thank you. Um, so, right. So, as you all heard, Rebecca said, hey, I can do you can have the discovery calls with them, because this is a part of our package, right? You have the discovery calls with them, and then what's next, whatever the next step is, which is writing the script and go, this is what we've come up. This is somewhere before that, they've hired us. And right, because we're not just giving our stuff away. Or is there a part of this is the discovery, more of a consultation without fee, and then because I'm starting to feel this. I'm starting to get it.
Okay. Yes. Look, we're kind of in offer, which is awesome.
Oh,
Yes. And here's how it works, and I do it all the time.
the offer.
I mean, I think that, and then you are delivering the end product. You, in this offer, then you would deliver the end product. So
That's right.
again, it could be 2 30-second spots, one this, or I think in your case with this signature offer, we want to offer them a prefix rather
Yeah.
than a menu of choose your own.
Yes.
Maybe when the agency is
Yeah,
together and
maybe
you can,
because right now I can't offer, I don't have that capacity to do that. Right.
exactly right.
Mhm.
Now, again, I just did a big positioning for a V agency that has a podcast production arm to it. So we can hook you up with manpower, woman power, they them power, and
Yeah.
get your agency to the point where it could accept a menu.
Yeah.
But for
Huh.
right now, what feels really good to me for you is the ability to cherry pick a small handful of ideal potential clients based on your
Yeah.
knowledge of women in health and wellness.
Yeah.
And the pitch is about tapping in a communication strategy that actually reaches through the invisible barrier of
Yes.
inaccessibility because of communities that again have circled the wagons.
Yes.
And then I come in and help develop what those messages are, and
Yes.
then you deliver them in the
Liver.
voice it needs to be in.
Absolutely. And whatever visual that is agreed upon, because we're saying that the voiceover may be a voiceover like this. I mean, where I'm
Mm-hmm.
behind um, or it could be, well, yeah, I guess it could be. What else could it be? I mean, other than like a voiceover like radio or
I mean,
TV.
you
Maybe that's a partnership also with Paul in doing something visual for. Oh wow.
or a partnership with Zach where they have
Yeah.
a social media campaign that is like nose to tail, turnkey, open a box and plug it in, and now you've got this in a 6-month initiative, like maybe it's
Yeah.
or menopause May or
Yeah.
whatever, and we're
Yeah.
like, but you have them on the podcast first,
Yeah.
and then you think, what could they really use?
Oh my
And in
God.
my case, at the end of Renegade Serenade, I'll be like, so what's next for you in your business?
What's next
That
for you?
simple question
Yeah. Yep.
will give me the ideas I need to be able to come back and be like, I had a really interesting idea. May I pitch you an offer?
You are amazing. Just thought I would start out with that.
I've learned that I got to get in there immediately with the record button and extract myself as soon as possible after the end, because the amount of FOMO I've had for your just amazing interactions
Oh
when
wow.
I don't capture them on the camera is
Oh,
large and in charge.
oh my gosh. You are so dear to me. And I gotta tell you, this has been a ride that I would go on again and again and again. And so this has been great.
That's great news because I've asked you to renew our vows.
Yes. And she said yes.
She said yes.
She said yes.
Yeah, I feel like a really cool way to kind of move this forward is to wrap up this season with the planning stage, like the brand building stage,
I agree.
and then launch kind of in the fall with like asset development. That's all the stuff based on what we've learned.
Okay.
And then kind of after the holidays, if you're open for it, our season 3 can kind of round out with a launch where you're like actively kind of pursuing your contracts, you're built, you've got all your stuff, you're out there, you're doing the thing. So I
Yeah.
love the idea of kind of like a 3-season approach to it, which
So do I.
okay.
I really do. To me, it makes a lot of sense. I mean, we didn't discuss the future, beyond the 12 episodes or whatever the number,
Yeah,
turns out to
12 is
be.
what we had hoped for. And in the beginning, Janine, I was like, oh my God, I got to fill 12 episodes.
I
And
know.
now I'm like, I need a full year of Entrepreneur in
I
Residence.
know. Isn't it? I find it amazing, and that's what's so exciting about being in this creative space, is that you can have an idea, you have a plan, which you should, but you have no idea what's coming next, what's going to develop as a result of going through the process. So it's
Also, in defense of like not overcommitting, if I come to you on day one and be like, I have a brand new project and we're gonna do it for like pretty much a calendar year, you'd be like, hard pass. Like,
yeah, yeah, you're
so the
I don't know.
This
I don't know what I would have said.
well, at least in this way, we got a chance to kind of date a little bit, see how it
Yes.
goes,
Yeah.
flush it out, be experimental, try new things, see how the show goes, and
Yes.
move
Yes.
on. So, but I do also want to be respectful of like, you may be like, wrap it up. I want to start my life here.
Well, no, because you know what? I feel that the more we develop the soil, the more we develop the soil, the better the live plant. I'll play with that analogy, but truly the actual work, when I really dig in and start performing, and we're working together on presenting, responding to either proposals or whatever we're doing together, the better we will have our systems, in place. And not that they can't be tinkered and we pivot a little bit here and there, but the point is we will have a foundation. And I think it's important. I think I know even more today than I did yesteryear, whether that this works. This process works. I am so much more in tune with who I am, where we're going, and that made it easy for me to say yes to the next, few years.
She said yes. I can't. I couldn't think of like. I would just couldn't think of anybody else I want to continue this journey with. So
Well, thank you.
why don't? What would Ann Lander say? Don't, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Don't fix it. Exactly. That's right. Let's just keep chugging along, and you may. I mean, we don't know. As time goes on, say, you know what, Janine, I'm thinking we might be able to do this, that, and the other, tinker, put things together. And, we were looking at the third season, but some of that may happen in the second season. I don't know. You just have to be open and game.
Let's just roll with it and see how it goes. I think
Yes.
this, though, we're kind of doing the thing where we, discovered ideated all of our possibilities and created, that full fat version of what your life could look like with an entrepreneurial pillar, deep in the DNA of your day-to-day existence. And then we kind of ideated how that brand would look. And then we validated that against a business model with Jill. And then she took our positioning to the next level by, adding this nuance to it. And then you and I came back and then went to Jody and got some peer-to-peer support on like, what is the business actually like? Like, let's take it out of the clouds and into reality.
Yeah.
And now we're doing the deep work of working on your personal positioning.
Yeah.
Because, you and the Janine Sound experience are, simpatico, but you're not the same thing. You're not the same entity.
No.
So
wow.
We gotta bring your own special sauce to the table, as well as we're building micro and macro.
Macro. Look at you, business terms. Yeah.
Then we'll build an offer. I'm sorry, honey.
Oh no, please.
Okay. Then we'll build an offer out, your signature offer. We've, and get that to the point where you can go to market. And at the very end of this season, my gift to you, we're sending you to, if you're into it, I'm sending you to Taylor Campia to get portraits done, professional portraits done.
Oh my gosh.
Because we had, the revolution must be televised. We need to see you from like beginning to end. So if you're game for that.
Oh, absolutely.
Taylor has already given us an enthusiastic yes. And it'll just be around scheduling scheduling for this summer.
Thank you. Thank you, Taylor. Thank you for saying yes to all this. You're a super collaborator and have been with I'm speaking to you, Taylor. But anyway, she's been a super, I just put it in general terms, but I see how you all have collaborated in the past and how that has supported your work. And I'm just excited. I'm looking forward to it. Yeah.
That's going to be amazing. And Taylor will have her own episode. Then we'll bring her back on and talk about the experience of kind of someone documenting your transformation, what that felt like, and just how you feel about your brand. So that'll wrap up. And then you and I will get back together in the very, very end. And we will have one more Love Fest plus a live reunion show over on the Stone Fruit Roll Up.
Oh my gosh. Your timeline, your ability to create a timeline is absolutely amazing. Everyone, I have to tell you, Rebecca has a way. I received an email not too long ago with calendar, dates already aligned, emails already gone out to other, guests, and you're just like you cook. Yeah, you're cooking with gas and just keep moving. But it's not. But it all has a purpose. It's not like, oh, well, maybe we'll get together and talk about whatever. But it all has a purpose and ties into the entire overall plan. Even if it's only planned a week prior or whatever, it doesn't.
All right, well, let's get something done today, because
But,
through the magic of television,
yes.
we've spent some time recrafting your personal positioning statement.
Mm.
So when last we left our heroes in other outfits, but mere seconds ago for the television audience here at 100 TV, we really thrashed through what is your personal brand exclusive of the Janine sound experience that we could then, harmoniously integrate when we, launch the brand itself. So that's the work we're going to do today. I have a rewritten positioning statement for you, and we're going to do the thing where I bring up the document, we read it and validate it, and polish it and evolve it and get happy.
This is exciting.
Okay.
This is exciting. And I was trying to explain what we're doing to another friend, and of course, I've been sharing the links. Like, you got to see this one. You got to see this one.
Oh, you've been great.
Yeah, they think it's amazing. So,
this is why you're just so perfect to have. As our entrepreneur in residence, because you're just enthusiastic beyond my ask.
Oh,
what you in the comments on Monday was huge. It just makes a huge difference to not pull the wagon by ourselves. So
that's right. Not pull the wagon by ourselves, because we don't have to. We don't have to. Yeah.
Over here. Let's get over here.
Let's get into it.
Let's get into it. All right. So when we left our heroes, as you noted, Janine's sound experience, we're like really, really happy with that positioning. But we felt like Janine Payne herself, auteur herself, was anemic. It was true for audiences everywhere who need to hear voices with heart and soul in order to make a connection. Janine Payne is the So Janine Payne, what? Janine Payne. That's a blooper. Okay. For audiences everywhere who need to hear voices with heart and soul in order to make a connection, Janine Payne is the voiceover artist, songstress, and audio actor that delivers the sound experience and energy in vocalization, storytelling, and song for digital media and creative/commercial endeavors, because branding is a feeling. So that's where we left it. And then you and I really dug in with our fingers in the dirt, keep your hands dirty, and decided to bring your full fat version of yourself to positioning. So here we are. Drum roll, please. I'm going to make this bigger so that it's not.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I can see myself.
How's this? How's that?
Oh my gosh, that is bravo.
Okay, thank you. All right.
You.
For public health organizations resolute in improving the health and welfare of women who need to give voice to their mission and messaging, Janine Payne is the voiceover talent, strategic communications director, and women's full life advocate that delivers the emotional context and colorful compassion to fully realize scripts, songs, sound bites, and storytelling in audio branding that exudes feelings of peace, protection, and possibility, because authenticity speaks volumes.
Wow. It is who I am. It is a lot to absorb, and not in words, but to own. But we've talked about that. We've talked about every element of who I am and what I bring, the sound that I bring. I love that you also mentioned music. I know, because we've talked about this. Because
we've talked about this.
We've talked about this. I can say that 3 times. Okay, let me stop. But
Young lady, we've talked about this.
We've talked about this. So, but to see it in writing and then to hear the words, I am owning that part of me. Particularly, one area that I'll be honest with you that maybe months ago I would have sort of stayed away from is the strategic communications director. Everything else, just flows exactly as I feel, and I feel I own it.
Well, the strategic communications director, I agree, feels like a role that's not quite right. But the strategic communications piece is right. Yes. So maybe it's consultant or advisor or orchestrator or choir director.
Yeah, I know. yeah. And or exactly band player. But no, so you're feeling me. I love that you've allowed that launching point from strategic communications director, because you needed something there that speaks to how am I? And I do see more orchestrator or advisor, or maybe we need to read it again to be able to figure out what, or maybe talk through it, because it's me. In some cases, it's you, or it may be someone else at the table. But this is my positioning statement, right? This is Janine.
That is correct.
Okay.
This is correct. So I will show you that the Janine pain. I'm sorry, the Janine sound experience is here still.
Yep. Yeah.
Go ahead, read it out loud for the studio audience at home. Why not?
I will.
Let me make it bigger for you, though.
Okay.
Make the logo bigger.
I swear she knows me. Okay. For companies, causes, and communities that dare not be ignored, the Janine Sound Experience is the voiceover and branded audio design studio that delivers deliberate disruption and compelling controversy, articulated and amplified in high fidelity, and a royal roster of talented and spirited Black and Brown VO artists ready to bring mighty messaging to life and hit your people right where they live, because every truth needs a trusted voice to be heard, and you know it when you hear it. I love it.
More. Do this piece. Oh, do this piece.
Whoa.
Ooh, I lost it.
I know. I love this. I love this real time. You get it. It was like truth. Okay.
Yeah.
Truth or dare to be ignored.
Oh my God, that gives me chills.
Oh, it gives me chills. Okay. Got it.
Now let's read your personal one. Just you do it. I mean, why am I even reading out loud?
Okay. Hey, we both can share. I remember in school they would go around. You read paragraph 1, Janine. You read paragraph 2.
It's just hearing you. I just hearing you say it is like va va boom.
Let's see. Okay, so for public health organizations resolute in improving the health and welfare of women who need to give voice to their mission and messaging, Janine Payne is the voiceover talent, strategic communications advisor, and women's full life advocate that delivers the emotional content and colorful compassion to fully realized scripts, songs, sound bites, and storytelling and audio branding that exudes feelings of peace, protection, and possibility, because authenticity speaks volumes.
I get goosebumps listening to you say it.
Man, I think the only thing is playing with the strategic communication. Oh, you said advisor. In my mind, I read director. It's so funny, isn't it amazing?
You said advisor. You said advisor. But And the only thing that you didn't say was you said content over context.
I did.
And
Okay.
this isn't me giving you notes. This is me making sure
Oh,
that
please.
this is right.
Delivers the
Emotional
emotional.
context.
It's context. It's
I
the
agree.
context of it all. Yeah. Oh yeah.
This
I just
comes
felt.
from Jody, actually, from the session we had with Jody. These are from my
Ah.
notes. Emotional context.
Oh my God. And Jody. Fabulous. I love that. I love that. That's why it flows so smoothly, but deliver emotional context. And that often is what's, well, I won't say often, but sometimes it's missing. Um, when you hear ads, I know what I'm supposed to receive, and sometimes I have to pick and choose what I feel about it, you know, but emotional context, it puts things in, it wraps it all, whatever it is that we're promoting or selling, it wraps it and encapsulates it, and makes it easy to, I think more palatable than having to figure out, so what are you telling me? I need to also feel that.
I was watching last night Project Greenlight, the reboot. Have you seen that on HBO
No,
Max yet?
no.
Issa Rae is in charge.
I heard about that. Yes.
Yeah. So I was watching that last night, and the first episode is
Oh,
where they
dear.
have like 12 female directors who have applied to be the director of the film that they're producing for Project Greenlight.
Yes.
And so each one of them got a scene and like a small budget to then go and produce, their short for an audition, essentially. And when they were all in the kind of like in the director's room talking about the different, candidates who were at the table to be considered and chosen, what I heard all of these kind of like television producers and Issa Rae's production team say was, where is the emotional, where are we making a connection? What are you bringing to it personally? What's your point of view that's different than anybody else's? So it wasn't about like execute the scene in a way that's interesting. All they kept talking about was, what is your personal connection to this material?
Wow.
And that's what really influenced
I agree.
how I wrote this today.
That is amazing. Thank you for that. Thank you for that.
Thank you, Issa Rae.
Yeah. Thank you, Issa Rae. Thank you for the context. And I think sometimes when we read, scripts or whatever, that I think most voiceover artists, you work to get to feel that emotion behind whatever it is that you're reading. But sometimes you don't feel you need to. It's another read, and you want to read it well. I don't mean that, you're being flippant about your own work, but I think sometimes it's just a script, but there's much more to it. There's more in order to convey the energy or passion or whatever it is behind the content. We have to have emotional context. So, yeah.
What would Jude Charles say? You can pretend to care, but you can't pretend to show up.
Oh my God. It is. And is that not true? You just can't, you can't fake it.
You cannot fake it until you make it, if you're using your voice or your likeness in some kind of way.
Yeah.
And I just think that people know when you're phoning it in. And what makes you special is that you really have an emotional connection to the material, and it's important to you, versus just getting it technically right.
Yeah.
Why? I'm sorry, Janine.
No.
Why is Adrian Brody considered so sexy compared to like even Brad Pitt? He has that like authenticity, that
he does.
Point of view that just makes it like untangibly attractive.
Yes.
And I think that, being technically perfect or having a pretty voice that reads the script well and articulates it with vocal color and some sort of energy may not be able to put it in the emotional context like you can.
I thank you for that. Those words are. It's like it's the cream on the key lime pie. It really is, because key lime pie. Well, for me, some people don't like the cream, but can I? Can I just take a side note here? and
Of
talk a
course.
little bit about the SAG after the
Yeah.
I am so behind them, but this is exactly the point you're making. You can't have a likeness of, I'll just say, even Brad Pitt. I don't know, because you just mentioned his name, but you can, yeah, no, you can have a likeness, but you don't have that emotional context that he actually brings to the stage. And how dare you think that you can replicate all of what Janine or Rebecca brings to the screen, you know, maybe perhaps only through audio. How dare you? And I know we've talked about AI in the past, and I understand that there are some benefits. You know, AI can churn out social media posts just like that. We talked about that. We talked about that. Um, and I think there's spaces like even when Google adds words to your sentence that you just trying to type a general email like to my sister and it's adding words. Sometimes I go, I was going to say that anyway, Google. So, you know, yeah, you think you're ahead of me. I was going to say that.
Nice try,
Yeah,
Google.
trying to be like me. But it's bigger than that. And I think this is what you know, where we are now, and I'm glad to see them standing. I'm trying to figure out what is my voice, what is our voice, because we're also behind the mic. You know, what is our voice? And I was really irritated when the CEO Iger of Disney said that he thinks that they're going too far, and I'm thinking, you of all people. Are you freaking kidding me? What do you mean they've gone too far? You're using motion picture and everything. What about those that you support? You know, whom you've hired, you know, as voice actors behind the cartoon or whatever it is, or the animation. Okay, Janine. The animation. How do you think they've gone too far? Come on. Join the bandwagon. What, this is a time for him to show up. You know, I'm sorry. I think he's on the wrong side of this issue, and I'm actually annoyed. So I'll get off my soapbox. But
Janine, let's talk about a conspiracy theory. I don't know if this will show up on the episode or not, but listen to this shit. It's exactly to your point of like an AI buying a likeness. And by the way, there's a Black Mirror about this in the new season where the likeness is being sued, and it's like
really,
iterative of like. Do you watch that show?
oh yeah. Listen. I started watching. Now I'm picking it up again. I've already. I'm like on episode. I'm just in the first season. So yeah.
Oh,
But
okay. When
I
you get to
love
this season, there is an episode that's about an AI likeness and actors and their relationship to it. So just like put a pin in it. Let me tell you about this conspiracy theory that I saw on the TikToks yesterday. Well, 2 days ago, actually. So Google is integrating AI into all of their tools, right? Which means that their AI will tap into anything that anybody's ever written in Google Docs. Let's just use Google Docs, for example, which means that Google could potentially launch a streaming service in which 100% of the content was AI generated. And all of that content would come from the original writing of people who have been writing on Google Docs and recording music and storing it there and creating artwork and doing all of their work in the cloud. And then that creative work would be extracted to be generated for AI and then sold back to us with no recognition or compensation. I mean, is it a conspiracy theory? Yes. Would I put it past them? Not even a little bit.
And yeah, I think there's more truth to the conspiracy. I actually do.
That would be so fucked up. All my stories are on Google Docs. Everything I've ever written, nonfiction and fiction.
Wow. And trust, it doesn't just belong to you. I mean, they have given us, you know, and I love Google products, right? I mean, who doesn't? I mean, look, we trust them. You trust Google with your stories of your life. I trust you. We're sharing things back and forth. So it's not only on my computer, it's not only in email, but it's also, hey, just place your stuff out here, put it on Drive, put it, yeah, wherever you want. We can get it to you. We can give it to you. It's just almost too easy. I believe that there's a future there. I, I also trust the brand Google with hopes of.
I don't know, girl. I don't trust.
I don't know.
I mean, like, I just feel like the corporate takeover is so insidious, and like any opportunity to basically cut out the middleman, who is us.
Yes.
And to give zero compensation and zero fucks, because when you signed up for Google Tools for Business, you signed away the rights to all that content.
You should, yeah. This is something I can talk to you about offline, but this is important to us, and I think we should engage in this discussion. Maybe in August. I don't know, because this is hot stuff. I mean, when the Writers Guild started the strike in May or a time frame, right? I was into it and I found it of interest, and I know we need to get on, with other things, but I don't know. I didn't feel it in my gut until SAG and AFTRA. You know what I mean? Until
so like if all of and I don't know the name of that website where everybody is putting fan fiction, that big comprehensive Discord server that went down and was hacked. Yeah, it was hacked. Where all people's creative writing that was universe expansion and world building was hacked into. And considering like the SAG and writers and voiceover and stuff, you could just eliminate that entire creative class.
That's right.
And mine the stuff people have already written.
You're right.
In the cloud.
You are right. And that's scary, because that's why, is it Bob Iger can say, is it Bob? Whatever's, I can't remember, with all due respect. I'm not trying to destroy.
I don't know. I don't even know that this will be ever a thing in an episode, girl. So don't worry about it.
All right. I just have to say, but that maybe that's why he, just came out so boldly that, hey, I think you're going too far, because what he does know is that there is data. I'm just going to call it data that is available. You guys don't have to ever work another day in your life, really. We have enough to keep us going for, years to come. All you need now is those who are not a part of SAG, not a part of AFTRA am I saying AFTRA? It's AFTRA, Screen Actors Guild, and then after AFTRA. Yeah, AFTRA, isn't it? Yeah, I think so. But anyway, the point is, and what's really scary, like as consumers, and I will say this, I am struggling. I'm trying to figure out, okay, do I boycott Netflix? Do I boycott Prime and all that? No, because at the same time, there are residual checks that are going out to actors who are barely making any money. One of my friends told me that there was an article, I think today or I don't know when, in not the Atlantic, but the New Yorker, I think. There was an article about this in a way. But so whose side do we take? I mean, I don't want to just stop watching everything together and then, try to get other folks on the bandwagon. Hey, stop watching, because who is that helping? That's not helping the little, not the little person, but, the average actor, or what do we do? Seriously.
I know. I feel trapped by corporate greed, to be honest.
Yeah.
I feel absolutely trapped by corporate greed.
Yeah. So do I. And I love the way you say that, because, I mean, I don't believe just because you got, you have actors that are making millions that you then have to say, well, they got enough money to blah, 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 blah.
It's not even about them. It's about like scene extras and,
That's right. Well, I don't know. This is a topic.
And the principality of it. Like, yes. Okay, let's say Brad Pitt signs away his likeness to be used ever in he gets paid for one day, and then So what happens if that happens? And no one is an actor anymore. And I just think It's just one more. It's one more light. Blow out your candles, Laura. It's
Yeah,
just one
you know
more
what?
light in humanity that
That is gone. Exactly. It's just and then we as consumers, we learn to consume that stuff because we
yeah.
do after a while, you
Yeah,
know.
and I mean, after you've already stolen all my, let's just say, after AI's already extracted all the value from my own personal repository of writing that is living in the cloud,
Mhm.
then I certainly can't sell that as a book, or it's already
Nope. It's already published. I mean, literally. And then finally, well, for me, finally, the whole Disney thing. I have to say, when I finally really felt that comment, that they maybe have taken it too far, and there were two quotes. I think I thought, well, maybe you're who we should be boycotting now. I mean, put some pressure on the philosophy of the other big business. If we can't.
Mhm.
I, I don't know, but it still hurts someone. It hurts the folks who are collecting tickets at Disney. Yeah,
Exactly.
I don't.
Exactly. I know, dude. It's just corporate greed. We're all
It is.
pawns.
We
It's
are.
it's it's throwing, I think, the entire country into an existential crisis.
It totally is. And I'm going to say and the world, because the whole world is watching. They're watching this in action in real time, and to see who's going to support the workers. I support labor movements and all of that.
Exactly.
And
That's why for me, entrepreneurship is owning the means of production.
it
That's to me, that's the end game.
you got it. You got it. You
That's
own
the end game right there for me.
you own the means to a production. Yeah, man. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you
Whew.
for this.
Okay. Yeah. That was deep.
Yeah,
We
but you
need
said you kicked it off with your comment around emotional content. I'm sorry, context. um, yeah, yeah, because yeah. Anyway, I'll stop.
Okay, no, that's good. Whew. All right, take a breath. Let's just let us let us make I'm gonna tell you a little story while I have
Yeah.
you.
Yes.
Okay. When my sister was about 4 years old, she went to preschool at the church down the street in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania in 1974
Wow.
or 5. No, she was born in 75, so mid 70s.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
And so it was a Christian preschool, and we grew up in a secular house. We didn't really do any, God fearing or church going,
Right.
but she did when she went to preschool. So there they learned the Lord's Prayer. But one thing we did worship in my home was home cooking and good food.
Okay.
And so
All
here
right.
is how my sister Taya interpreted the Lord's Prayer. God is bacon, God is food. Wait. Oh, shit. I got to think of it. God is good, God is grapes. Let us bacon for our food. And Jesus. Let me do it one more time. God is food, God is grapes. Let us bacon for our food. And Jesus.
That is actually hilarious.
That's so funny. And Jesus.
And Jesus. Now everybody eat. Dig in.
Dig in. Okay.
Does she remember that? Yeah.
No, yeah, it's a big
Okay.
family.
Yeah. Okay.
It's a big family thing for sure. Okay, so here we are back to your personal positioning statement.
Yeah.
And just to validate that all of it still is a fuck yeah for you, and none of it needs to be adjusted or course corrected in any kind of way, because I just want to put this to bed. I want to bake this in the DNA and cement it.
Love it. I'm there. It is perfect. It is
cut and stamp.
Cut and stamp. Yep.
Okay. Fantastic. now we're cooking with gas. Look, we got Janine's Town Experience, which we know is a collective
Yeah.
New voice, the new voices for a new regeneration. That's a
Yeah.
collective,
Yes.
and that each person is going to come to the table with their own emotional context,
Yes.
and that you're not necessarily
Mm.
going to be like shopping a catalog of like,
Yes. I know exactly
voiceover
what
on.
you mean. Exactly.
Let's compare our features. Let's compare products. It's not where we're going, but we are trying to create that royal roster of
Yeah.
Black and brown voices that elevate messaging. And this is your stick. And we're tying that directly into the offer by creating an offer specifically for this positioning, this niche that
Yes.
rests inside the agency itself.
That is very well said, received, and in agreement. In agreement.
And scene.
And seen. I love it. I feel every bit of it and really get, the difference because actually when we were talking about positioning statement, I'm thinking, okay, did we do part of a positioning statement? And yeah, you remind me, yeah, we had, but we needed fine tuning. We needed
Yeah,
to
it
fine
just
tune.
was. It was just kind of flat,
Yeah,
It was true. It wasn't not true,
right.
but it just kind of like sat there like a cold egg on the plate.
Wow.
Just like yes, that egg is still nutritious, and it did look like it was delicious at one point.
Yeah.
However, I'm really looking for eggs Benedict.
Ooh, very nice. Ooey
eggs.
gooey. Well, and I wonder how many people have gone through a similar process, even if they've done it on their own, because often, we're sitting down at our desk or dining room table, especially with entrepreneurs. And I just wonder how many people have gone through. And now that you see this process in action, would you do anything different? Like hire Rebecca Gunter. But seriously, um,
Put your time machine crystal ball genie wishes in the comments, everybody.
yeah, please do. I'm interested to know because I know when I thought even working in spaces, particularly federal government, where you think, you're taking on a new project and you're working with communications contractors and so forth. I don't know how often, I know this is a little different. We're talking branding or whatever, but how often they really go through a true process is based on this new project or because it's so much easier sometimes to take, right? You're taking something from old and go, well, we can do. Remember when we worked on the, you know, blankety blank project? We can use some of that and but starting from scratch.
Frankensteining a new project or an initiative together,
Yeah.
That phones it in.
Yeah.
But I truly believe that if you really want to make an impact and you really want to be as effective as you possibly can, you cannot skip who's it for.
Yeah.
What do they need?
What do they need?
What is this?
Yes.
What is it going to deliver? And why should anyone give a shit?
Yes. I mean, really. And not just because you say so.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Not just because you say so. The because only is the heartstring piece. Like if I'm writing a because only, I'm really thinking how sometimes it's really tempting to write a negative, like because the world doesn't need another jerk. Like, that something that, and sometimes I will if I've got kind of a contrarian brand in front of me.
Yes.
But you have to remember that is always going to be your not always, but it's going to turn into a headline or a tagline. So authenticity speaks volumes.
Wow.
That's that's like the tagline for your offer.
Yeah, it totally is.
Or becomes, a big piece on your website, or we have a custom graphic, or we have coffee mugs made or whatever. So if this is just all about because I said so,
yeah,
nobody's gonna want it's not gonna work. Like it's not gonna hook.
No, it's not
any kind of way.
No, it's not. Oh, right. The hook.
Yeah. That's Zach's jam. He loves the hook. So
oh, really? I can't wait. I can't wait.
I know that'll be super fun.
Yeah, and for those of you that are watching, I haven't met Zach. Right? I haven't met Zach. I mean, I know Zach is superior at what he does, and that's going to be really cool. To have him because we'll be on screen at the same time, right?
Yeah, you absolutely will. Zach is passionate about crafting an offer. I mean, listen, he's like, oh, he's like a very driven and determined entrepreneur.
I
And
love it.
you and I are like, feeling we've got our own vibe.
We
So I
do.
think it'll be a very cool way to like bring a pragmatic, like
Yeah.
just I mean, he's just chomping at the bit to make the most out of life.
Oh, wow.
And to see somebody like that who's like, here's how your offer could land. And again,
Yeah.
I really appreciate his perspective because it's Gen Z perspective.
Yep.
And if we think that Gen Z isn't going to be the one making hiring decisions in the next
What minute?
and the
Yeah.
next minute, or that's the audience
Yeah, that's right.
ultimately, or
Yeah.
like, so don't sleep on Gen Z. Zach,
No.
having him come around, like me and Jill, we're all Gen X. So to
Yeah.
have him come around and validate what the offer could be, there really does kind of
Wow.
bring that, condenses our effectiveness and make
Yeah.
sure we don't alienate people,
Alienate.
or just being kind of blind to what's
Yeah.
new, or sticky right now because
I
we
love
just don't have
that.
the perspective. So he's gonna be very cool. And again,
Wow.
it's a special interest for him offers. So
Wow.
he'll be a great addition.
This is going to be so much fun. Looking forward, Zach. So, and I'm sure the audience will enjoy his perspective,
I think so.
in that space. Yeah.
He has his own little segment at the end of episode 3.
Uh-huh.
And we talk about building the show, and he's just like, you could just see him chomping at the bit. So this will be cool to see his expertise come across in a really genuine way.
Looking forward, and how beneficial it's going to be, to the future of Janine's sound experience. Yeah.
That's exactly right. Or as we say here at 100 TV, the future is 100.
Oh, the future is 100. I love that.
You can see it in your mind, can't you, Janine?
I can.
Because the future is 100.
But the future is 100. I love it.
Do you want to see 100 TV's positioning statement? For funsies?
I would. I do.
Okay. Let's see it.
Huh.
Just for funsies.
Yeah.
Bring you to the front.
Uh-huh.
Bring you to the front. Yep. Okay, here we go. Now let me bring it up.
Well,
let me bring up
amazing.
the font. We did this Ross and I live streamed creating it. All right. For independent video creators, live streamers, and podcasters who need a platform with purpose and to team with transparency, 100 TV Network is the destination station that delivers the internet's most original collective of on-demand and in-demand voices, streaming on a channel of weekly, never-before-seen shows focused on anything and everything. The go-to destination for people who love innovative content and soon to be home of a community of 100 creators sharing the lift of content creation and audience building together, because the future is 100.
Wow.
It's fun.
And it's fun, and it's exactly who they are. There's nothing in that description or in that statement rather that I don't understand. Now that I'm exposed to it, it's very, very, very well written, and it's inviting as well. People like a collection and collaboratives and so forth, and it's very, very well done.
Thanks, honey.
Yeah,
It was fun.
it
That
is.
was fun to share with you.
Wow,
that was fun to share with you. Thanks for listening.
Yeah.
The one thing I focus on above all else, and it's going to seem like I'm giving you lip service, but it's absolutely true, is that Janine gets what she needs to actually launch this business.
Wow.
You are my top priority.
Yeah.
You're actually getting what you need to launch the Janine sound experience.
Yes.
Actually, for real.
No, I get, and it's felt that way. There's a purpose behind it, purpose driven. Not just like, let's see how we can take this from beginning to end. But the end is actually standing up a business. which is different than I know a lot of entrepreneurs that you work with. They are already stood up. They've already stood up and are somewhat kind of, well, okay, I'm trying to play with
Yeah,
that
I mean,
analogy.
you have been, one of the like earliest of the iterations where we're starting from like could be this, could be that, could
Mhm,
be, but
mhm,
it's not different than when you're starting a new, is it a newsletter? Is it a Substack? Is it a podcast? Is it a YouTube
mm,
channel? Like that's
yeah.
not too far off the mark. And I would say that my clients are always either in like reinvention
Uh,
or a pivot or a launch or a dismantling or
huh.
a disruption. So if you're in that like
Oh,
space, it makes sense that we can launch from anywhere and it doesn't matter how clean the clean slate is.
that's
So
good.
you're right as rain. You've been
All right.
perfect. You've
And
been
so are
perfect
you.
in every way.
Thank you. I'm glad. And so have you. Oh, look, I'm
Look at you.
wait.
You're doing it. Let me get look. I can even get you full screen here. You're doing it.
I
You're
can't
doing it. You're
doing
doing
it, doing it, and doing it well.
it. We do that all the time.
Yeah, I know.
Okay,
All
so
right.
we will be together next Thursday with Zach for the offer, and in between time, I'm going to initiate scheduling with Taylor
Okay.
for your portraits.
Yay. Thank you, Taylor, again. But I'm looking forward to it. I
Oh my
need it.
God,
I need it.
she's gonna be so great with you,
Ah,
and I'm so excited about that, and also just honoring the time that you're going to be away. So I'm trying to make sure that this schedule doesn't feel constrictive in
okay.
any kind of way. So let me know if you're starting to be like, ugh. But
Thank
we're so close to that. This is episode 10. 11 is the offer. We'll
That's
do
amazing.
Taylor, we'll do you and me and Jilly. So
That is awesome. I'm following along. I'm tracking, as we all say now. I'm tracking. We're
that
tracking.
tracks. That tracks.
That tracks. That's
All,
right.
all right, Janine, have a wonderful weekend.
You too. I will. Thank you. Have
Yeah,
a
absolutely.
wonderful time. And I'll see you and Zach on Thursday. Did we set a time?
Yeah, 10 o'clock
We
maybe.
did? Okay. All right.
Yeah, because I got the roll up at 11:30.
Okay. All right. So 10 o'clock. All right.
Yeah.
So because I put
And don't
9.
forget, you're doing a roll up. We already scheduled that.
Yes.
Yeah,
I
I'll be
know.
here to help.
I know. I can't wait and I want to talk to you about, we'll talk. We'll talk because I don't know. Should I be bringing on a guest? Are you and I going to be bantering or is it just me? Is it?
Look, we can do it any way that you feel. Look, I didn't give you anything to look at. Look, then here I am.
I know.
However you feel most comfortable. If you're like, Rebecca, I'm ready to have the sandbox to myself, and I want to ideate a show with your help, but this is my baby and it's all yours. If you're like, I need training wheels with a co-host until I get
I
my
think
feet
so.
wet, and then we can get there. I am all you. But as far as I'm concerned, you're the lead here. You have top billing. If this is about you and your show, and if you need my support or want it in any way at all, I'm here for it. But this is your baby.
Wow, this is such an opportunity. It is actually unbelievable. Sometimes it's like during the day I think about it, like how is this going to look? Because I'm gonna start laying it out and share with you. But I believe that I'm still on training with. I really do. I think I need a
Yeah.
co-host. Yeah.
Yeah, sure. I'm happy to. I'm
Okay.
happy to. So I know you like to be prepared. Start structuring it however you want to structure it. I am
Yeah.
thrilled to come in and serve as your like wing person,
Okay.
and then and do that as often as you need or want. And
Mhm.
when you're ready, you take the reins, and I'll just be backstage making sure everything runs properly. That you only have to show up and be awesome.
Okay. All right. Thank you. So I shouldn't consider a guest this time.
I mean, a guest is actually easier, Janine.
I know. Trust. Yeah, I know. I guess it's easier. But okay, so let me think on that and then identify and then outreach and trying to get someone over the course of the next few weeks.
Yeah, either
Yeah.
you want to soapbox with me about the following things, like, hold on, I gotta find where we are.
Yeah, women.
Yep, women's health, making choices for your life, post menopause, building your, competency,
Mhm.
recolonizing language,
Yeah.
education, funding, the mystery of menopause, taking women's health seriously. Like,
Yeah.
unless you want to do a show that's just you and me soapboxing about women's shit, and you're gonna start providing some answers around communication, that
Mhm.
is fine. If you want to bring on a guest and I'm really providing just a lot of structural support and emotional support and making sure that you have somebody there to like pick up the slack if you get if you lose your train of
Tongue-tied.
thought, or
Yeah.
or you need somebody to be like, what do you guys think about menopause? Like, you'll be like,
Yeah.
thanks for changing
Yeah.
the subject. If you
Yes.
need a ringmaster there to help with all that, I can do that too. So those
Okay.
are a couple of options for you to think about. You
Okay.
don't have to take the full hour. You can go live for 5 minutes if you want to. You can take the full hour. I mean, frankly, you can go over if you want to. So
Mhm.
don't feel the pressure that I've got to deliver 8 minutes
Mhm.
and I got to do the thing. And again, girl, we have an audience of like literally 6 people
I know.
right now. It's like not.
Yeah.
It's not like you're on the Carson show.
I kn
You can relax and have fun
Yeah.
and play and don't worry about your reputation, and it always works out great. I mean, the one I
Yeah.
did yesterday, I had the YouTube live up in 2 different browsers, just kind of like stack viewership, make it not look like
Ah.
no one was watching, right? Like, just to
Yes.
have an eyeball or two on there. And
Absolutely.
when you go to a live, it's like 0 people watching, you're like, skip. But at least if you've got 1 or 2, you're like, okay, maybe something interesting here.
Yeah.
But what I don't do is mute either of those videos. And so StreamYard comes on, we go live, and I get browser number 1 here, browser number 2 here, and the actual conversation in StreamYard. And it's so disorienting and confusing.
Oh my
And
God.
this is what I look like.
Oh, I'm sure. Exactly. You're like, yeah, that's me.
I can't figure it out. And then I gotta, and I'm on a 13-inch monitor laptop. Like, I'm not on a big system. I'm
Oh
like
my
on a
God.
fucking laptop with a trackpad. Like, don't tell Tony. He's like, why aren't you using your Christmas present? I'm like, I don't know.
Didn't I give you a trackpad for Christmas?
Beautiful monitor. You're just holding up nothing.
Oh my.
Anyways, so I'm like punting and pecking to fix it, and
Yes.
we're live, and I can't hear the guest who doesn't know why I'm not talking.
Oh, stop it. I can't.
That was yesterday. Yeah. Because we introduced some music. We have some theme music, and Saturn was playing. It was really loud, and then didn't turn it on when we started talking.
I
So
get it.
be
Yeah.
like, Saturn, turn the music down. So,
but it's live.
Shit happens, right?
It
so
does,
just
and it's live.
let it go. I've been doing it every week for like 5 weeks now, or longer than that, I guess, since.
Yeah.
I don't know. We're like on 140th episode day, 140 divided by a week or whatever. Yeah.
Okay.
Take the pressure off.
Okay. Yeah, it does. It does. And that list, the way you read it off, do you mind copying, just taking a picture and send it to me? Because all those various topics, I was pigeonholing myself to a discussion around like women, singleness, but I really need to open my mind to all the other things that we've talked about, and figure out which one for now is where we want to spend, at least 30 minutes or so.
I think go with what you're most
Okay.
passionate about talking about, and maybe it's about Doctors Don't Listen, or maybe it's about the new regeneration for women. Maybe it's about that, or maybe it's about menopause, since you have a lot of knowledge in that right now.
Yep. And I also, if I needed to bring a guest on, okay, I'll be honest with you, I really am good, and I don't mean that because I need you, but I'm in terms of just choosing a topic and then working with it, sort of an outline, and I'll share it with you to say this is sort of what I'm looking at, but still leaving room for the fluidity of, of a conversation.
You may want to guest halfway through the show, not the whole way through the show, or you might want to bring 3 friends on and do a panel discussion.
Wow,
that's a possibility.
Okay, I'm more at ease.
Oh, good.
I definitely am. So
okay, good. And then, like I said, not to stack more on top of it, but if you like this, you can have this platform as often as you want. You could take over for a month if you want. You could take over for 6 weeks. That's what it's for. Aw. So no pressure on more, but like this is the time to experiment, and you don't have to get it right this time because that opportunity is alive and well for forever and ever.
Wow, thank you so much.
Oh my God.
I'm so excited. I'm so excited. And it's going to be fun. It is going to be a ball. Yeah. I just need to sit down. I'm going to take part of next week and do that. And then while I'm on away, just at the beach, kind of chilling.
Yeah.
Yeah, I am. I have certain things that I said I want to accomplish. So
okay,
we'll see.
That's great.
Anyway,
well, that's great. Just enjoying yourself is the number 1 agenda.
It totally is. Yep.
Okay. Awesome.
Love you, girl. Thank you so
very
much.
Hey, everybody. I'm Rebecca Gunter. If you're new here or you're just joining us, here's what we're doing at Business in the Raw. This is a multi-episodic arc. This is one entrepreneur's journey to build a brand that has them thriving, not surviving. You can start at episode 1 as we begin our epic brand venture through options and opportunities, continuing to whittle down, defining positioning, messaging, business modeling. We get some peer-to-peer support from someone who's already making it in this space, 100 TV's official voiceover artist, Jody Frankel. We get some support on crafting the perfect offer, and we'll cap off the entire season with a celebration of rebranded content. What's more, starting from episode 1, you can have a ringside seat as we develop this show from its rocky beginnings into smooth sailing. I can't wait to hear what you think. Reach out to me directly at RebeccaGunter@stonefruit.com. That's REBECCA.GUNTER at stoned, STONED, fruit, FRUIT.com. And let me know how Business in the Raw is doing you right or doing you wrong and what we can do to fix it. I'd love to hear from you. Otherwise, keep on keeping on as we continue our brand venture through personal branding, offer creation, branded photography, and more.